I am down on the side of the table that has these large placemats, and you will also see trays with ink, and then these tools which are called brayers. And then this is where I'm going to start inking up my printing plate. Your plate will always, 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 always be on a placemat. This is not for putting your tray on or your plate on. This is your placemat, always on forever. So this goes underneath here, okay? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some ink in the plexiglass plate. Just put a little bit, like maybe as much as I would put on my toothpaste. I got my toothbrush, maybe a little bit more. Can you see that there? Okay, if there's already some in the tray, you don't need to keep adding. It should look kind of wet and shiny. That's how I know I have enough. So I'm going to take the brayer and I'm going to roll it back and forth, both directions. And I'm looking for it to make that kind of sticky sound. It kind of makes like a Velcro sound. The whole point in rolling the brayer in the ink is just to make sure it's coated. Whoa, I think I have a lot. So it looks like I've got too much ink on there. Okay, so now I'm ready to roll it onto my printing plate. So I'm gonna scoot this over. Remember, it's on my placemat. And the reason why is because I'm gonna be rolling all the way to the edges. Now you can kind of hear that sticky sound. Notice just like when we deboss those lines, those are not going to pick up the ink. So I keep going, I have to work quickly because it dries fast. I'm gonna ink my whole plate. I can tell the places that don't have enough ink because they look a little bit lighter and maybe not as shiny. So I'm going to keep going quickly and ink my whole plate. Remember, that's why I'm on my placemat. Okay, looks like I've got it all covered. Made sure I checked all the corners. Everything looks like it's got a nice layer. Now I'm ready to print. We're going to go back to the other side of the table. Okay, now I'm down on the other side of the table where you see this area that's called the registration area. Registration means to line up. So remember, I have my printing plate on my placemat. I'm going to remove it carefully from the placemat and set the placemat aside. I need it for later. And I'm going to set my plate on the place that says plate here, face up. So I'm going to lay it here, lining it up exactly. Okay. Now I'm going to look at my fingers. Oh my gosh, there's ink on my fingers. And if I have dirty fingers, I'm going to have a dirty print. So at each of these print stations, you'll see a little sponge. I'm going to wipe off my fingers before I touch my good paper. Okay, now my fingers are clean. I can wash my hands if I need to. My paper I've already chosen. And this is down on the floor up front. Friends, before you print, I'm going to have you write your name on your paper. And you can be looking at your name, all right? And so now I'm going to set it here on the place that says paper here, paper here. So I'm going to try to line it up. It's called registering or lining up. That's just so that the border is going to be even all the way around. I'm going to press it down first with my hands, not like this, but rubbing it. And then at this table, you'll have other brayers, these ones with the metal. When we press down without ink, we're going to call this a baren. So this brayer is acting as a baren to press the plate onto the paper. Okay, I think I got it everywhere. I'm going to pull it up and see how my print looks. Oh wow, okay, so I did a pretty good job. I can tell some places I didn't get enough ink. Can you see that here? So I want to make sure that when I pull a print, it has enough ink, like this area where there's no paper that shows through. So this paper now is going to go in the drying rack. Now my plate, I'm going to rinse it in the sink. I don't need soap, but I'm going to rinse it really well. I'm going to dry it with paper towels, and then I can make another print. So I'm going to go through the whole process again, rinse this, dry it, maybe choose a different color, and try to make a couple more prints.